And what's up, everybody? It's me. Another episode, another week, more Joel Cupcake live. I'm back. I went and saw my parents over the weekend. I am well rested. I got my second vaccine shot, so I'm safely able to travel. I had enormous anxiety in an airport. If you have anxiety, don't go in an airport right now. It's not tight at all. As some of you may have seen on my socials, I recently posted, I broke 5,000 views on the channel here on YouTube on all my vlog episodes, whether it's the ones that are me or the ones where I have guests. Like, so tight. Thank you. Between my health updates, some of my teaching episodes, and my guests, like, that's been awesome. I super appreciate all of you. If you're here and you don't know who I am, I'm Joel Cupcake. I'm a promoter and artist manager from California. I've been in the music industry about 16 years. Most of you know that, so I don't know why I said it again. If you are new, click subscribe underneath the YouTube link. You'll hear that again at the end of the show, just so you don't forget. I have an awesome guest today. He is a fellow hockey lover, a fellow wrestling lover, a very good brother, if you know what I mean. And he is the host and producer of Rock the Walls, and he is the IDOBI Howl music director. And he also comes from my favorite country other than America, the Great White North, Canada. Patrick, what's up, dude?
Hell yeah, man. Thanks a lot for having me. It's great to be here.
Dude, of course. Of course. I'm very happy. I've been trying to get you on the show for a while, and, well, you know, I'm the most scatterbrained person probably in the music industry, so.
A lot of stuff going on, man. I completely understand.
It is crazy, man. It is crazy. First off, I want to let you know, I meant what I said. I love your country. Poutine is great. The hodgepodge of, like, I think it was the first time I was in Montreal and we actually had like time after a show. You like walk down the street and it's like the only place where it's like, look, there's a Greek place. Look, there's an Indian place. Look, there's buffalo wings. Look, there's like literally like next door. Like the diversity in your large towns trumps everywhere than basically New York. You know what I mean? Because like look at LA and San Francisco. They're like, you know, that's Chinatown. You know, there's like pockets. It's like a district, but I don't know. I loved Canada. Every time I've ever gone there, I've had a great time. Like, great people, great venues, great music, great bands. Like, I love fucking Dave Boucher from that promoter there in Montreal.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Well, I have a feeling here we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer than you guys as far as live shows are concerned. The vaccine rollout, we haven't had as many as the countries would have liked, so it's a little bit slower. But yeah, it's been interesting here in Ontario, where I live in Toronto. We're on our third lockdown. And yesterday, yesterday they extended the stay-at-home orders that they have 2 more weeks until June the 2nd. But basically, what that means, like the stay-at-home orders, is basically not all non-essential businesses are closed. You can only do like curbside pickup or delivery. And then only essential stuff at places like Walmart, like groceries and stuff you can buy. You can't like buy any of the quote unquote non-essential stuff and whatnot. But yeah, there's still a couple thousand cases a day here in Ontario, the province that I'm in. So
is it just like is it just taking longer to get you guys the vaccine or what?
Yeah, they just had massive vaccine shortages basically so far, but hopefully they, you know, reports that they're going to be getting a lot more here. I get my first one on May 28th. And then unfortunately, due to the vaccine shortage, people are having to wait 3 to 4 months for their second one. So I don't go for my second one until September the 17th. Hopefully that moves up. We get more vaccines. But
holy shit.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That's wow. I'm sorry to hear that. That's unfortunate. Yeah. That's a crazy amount of time, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, but more people are you know getting their vaccines, getting vaccinated every day. You know, I'm very fortunate in that you know I'm relatively healthy. So you know, obviously first and foremost, I want the people who you know are at risk you know of you know potentially getting very sick or dying, you know, if they catch COVID. Not saying that not everyone, you know, can't get really sick from COVID, because obviously they can. I've you know, seen it firsthand over the last couple of weeks here with some people close to me at work. But it's it's hopefully really soon here.
Damn. Well, I am sorry to hear that. I'm glad you're doing okay, and I'm glad you finally have the first one scheduled. You know what? If it makes you feel any better, we've had it here, right? But because of the way it was like a mix of a federal and a state thing, you know? And so I have, you know, as you know, and most of the people that watch the show know, I have Bell's palsy, which is a neurological disease. That's what it's classified as. And I also am technically overweight, and I have high blood pressure, which is classified as hypertension medically. I don't know why they don't just call it high blood pressure. I need to get someone who's a medical expert on the show to ask that fucking question too. But in all the other states, high blood pressure qualified as a reason for you to get the vaccine early. And in my state, nope. I literally had to go lie and say I was a food service worker at Bobby's Yacht Club.
Jeez,
which,
man.
To my knowledge, doesn't even exist to get my shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's insane.
Because we have, like, I don't know what it's called in Canada, but here we have HIPAA laws, which is basically like your privacy, your medical privacy act. So like the only people that are allowed to know my stuff are the people that I give permission to, which is my girlfriend and my parents, and then my primary care physician. That's it. So like when I show up to CVS and go, yeah, I don't have insurance. Yeah, I work here. Like, yeah, you know, as long as my driver's license matches the info, they're not allowed to ask anything, like including my employment. It was like crazy. Like I just walked in and showed them my ID, and they fucking basically just stuck me with a needle. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was like, oh, well, that was a lot easier than I thought it was. Like, and I know so many people that did it that way because like, and there was that. And then like, you could just walk into CVS here and be like, hey, if you have an extra shot at the end of the day, can you call me? And they would just put you on a waiting list. Like I had a friend who did that, and he literally got his shot in 2 days.
Holy cow.
You know, well, the rest of us couldn't get it at fucking all.
Yeah, they're starting to do that more here as the vaccines come more readily available. Like pharmacies being able to do it, and they're also being, you know, pop up places that are giving vaccines, and whatnot. So yeah, hopefully more positive stuff coming here soon because, you know, not music related, but hockey related. I can't imagine a Canadian team potentially making it to a Stanley Cup final and people, you know, not being able to gather and whatnot. I think that'll be crazy. It'll be,
what was that, 2015 all over again when the Canucks fans flipped the cars over in the park and shit.
Oh,
and
yeah,
everything on fire.
Yeah, 2011.
Was that 11? Okay.
Yeah,
I've been watching hockey so long, I don't remember. I just remember the NHL being like, we don't condone our fans acting like this. And it was like, well, I mean, that was the first time the Canucks made it to the playoffs in what, like 40 years or some bullshit? Like,
yeah, first time, they made it to the Cup final. It's it's one of those things too where it's like, man, if that's what happened when they lost, what would have happened if they won? As far as how crazy people would have gotten, you know what I mean?
I want to know. It's funny. That's the same attitude like the Bay Area has. Like, there's never a worry like, oh, the Giants or the Warriors or whoever makes it to the finals. The worry is if we win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't talk about the Raiders because they're not from here anymore. But I also am not a Raiders fan, so fuck the Raiders. You know what I mean? But, you know, they're probably the only team that if they won, it would have been like, oh, my God, everything's on fire.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, here 2 years ago when the Raptors won,
I remember that.
I was downtown the night they won. And it was pretty tame. It was just a lot of people just really happy. I mean, yeah, like any celebration, you know, there was a few people who were probably going a little bit too overboard, but for the most, it was pretty civil and pretty awesome. A lot of people came out.
That's good. That's good. That's tight. Well, anyways, okay. Well, we have you here. So you're the host and producer of Rock the Walls, like I mentioned, and you're the IDOBI Howl music director. Okay. So for those of you listening that don't know what this is, IDOBI is basically, I'm gonna paraphrase, they're basically like the biggest internet radio station in Canada.
Worldwide, actually.
You're the biggest internet radio station worldwide.
The biggest alternative music radio station. Our main station, IDOBI Radio. We're actually mostly based in the state of California. We have a studio in North Hollywood. But a lot of our hosts, like myself, you know, we're all over the map and whatnot. Music director Eddie for IDOBI Radio and IDOBI Anthem. He lives in Colorado. And then and then like guys like Jarrett from Bowling for Soup, who has a show on our station. You know, he's down in Texas and people all over the place. So it's pretty crazy.
All right. Well, okay. Well, I learned something today. You know, like that was okay. Well, tight. So biggest alternative internet radio station in the world. That I didn't even realize that. I feel kind of stupid now.
No, it's all good, man.
So how did you? Let's start with you. Like, how did you? You've seen the show. Give me a little bit. I want to know about you, because I met you through wrestling. That's how we know each other. And then it was like, oh, look, like the things I do and the things Patrick do go together. Okay, that's even more tight. Like, So for those of you that don't know, I'm probably not supposed to talk about this, but there's a secret Facebook group for people from the music industry that like wrestling. Oh my God, the music industry might be a cult. It might be real. I'm not going to reveal the name of the group because that would be too far, Patrick. That would be too far. But that's how him and I met. But so how did you get started into music, and then how did you end up working in radio? Like,
so it actually it's pretty crazy, because what I'm doing now is actually pretty far removed from what initially I wanted to do when I decided I wanted to pursue broadcasting. So I was about 15 or 16 years old. I grew up in a small town called Alliston, Ontario, which has about 10,000 people. And initially, it was basically like, well, I'm a pretty good ice hockey goalie, but I'm definitely not good enough to make the NHL. What would I like to do, as like a profession? And I was like, well, sports broadcasting and covering the sports I love would be pretty sick. So initially in like grade 10, grade 11 of high school, even into grade 12, I was more so, focused on potentially, going to school with a focus on sports broadcasting and whatnot. But then gradually, getting into music last year of high school, discovering the band Motion City Soundtrack, which
just
now,
the door.
Yeah, man. And
dude, I'm a fan.
And it's crazy now, because a lot of people, knowing me for mostly covering heavy stuff, they're like, Motion City Soundtrack's your favorite band. But yeah, they really started it all for me. And, getting into them, and then in turn, getting into a lot of other, pop punk and alternative bands, and then going to Warped Tour and all that sort of stuff. It just, ignited my love for the music. So when I got into my first year of college at Niagara College, down near Niagara Falls, Ontario, in our second semester of our first year, we were given the opportunity to pitch a specialty show for the college station. Basically, you come up with an idea, you put together a little 4 or 5 minute demo of basically what the show is going to entail. Another part, because CanCon and the regulations here, how you were going to meet, the 35% minimum Canadian content on your show every single week, and that sort of stuff. So
that's a rule you have there.
Yeah, Canadian radio regulation and stuff. So I can honestly remember when I came up with what I wanted to do, I worked on this 4 or 5 minute demo for like 7 or 8 hours, just like put so much time into it. It was like,
well, you got to though. Like,
yeah. And the thing is too, once everything, got approved and I was able to start the show on the station, at the time, our college radio station, because, a college radio station, I believe in like the regulations and stuff, it can only be a certain bandwidth. It can only reach a certain amount of people as far as the radio signal. But then as well online, our listening bandwidth back in 2009 had an average bandwidth of about a maximum of 5 to 10 listeners.
Oh my God.
So not a whole lot of people listening. So went and did that. And, the first semester that I did my show, I was really diligent as far as like, scripting stuff that I was potentially going to say. And like, I would have a piece of paper in front of me like this and just be like mixing and matching and messing up sentences and all that stuff is pretty rough. I remember the first show that I ever did, forgetting to turn off the mic and definitely whispering the F word under my breath in stress. But from there, just continuing to work at it and whatnot. In my second year of school, I also started to do my show on an internet station called Trainwreck Radio, which is just a local station. Same thing, very small. A lot of weeks doing my show.
Was that Rock the Walls, or was it?
Yeah, the entire time this is all still Rock the Walls.
That's awesome. Okay.
So did it on that small internet station for a little bit in my second year of school, and then in the first semester of your third year for us and our program, That's
Okay.
basically the last semester that you have in school. So effectively, you know, you're done doing your radio show on the college station.
Yeah. So let me interject. You guys are like the rest of the world, right? Where like in Europe, you only go to college for 3 years, and then the last year is basically like an internship or journeyman's type shit, right? Basically,
it all depends on the program, because there's also some college programs are only 2 years. Ours, because it was considered an advanced diploma, was a 3-year program, and then university programs, they're often 4 years.
Okay.
So it's kind of all over the map, depending on the thing. But basically, I still wanted to do my show in any way that I could post college. So I sent a demo out in December 2010 to IDOBI Radio. I got an email back from Eddie Barilla, the program music director at IDOBI Radio. It's like, hey, this sounds pretty cool. We'll give you a 3-show trial run. And now, about almost 10.5 years later, I'm still in my exact same time slot on IDOBI Radio at 8 p.m. Eastern time on Saturdays. So it's pretty cool.
That's right. So what's the difference between? Okay, well, actually, let me interject. I didn't want to cut you off. I have to ask you a very fucking important question. Have you done the Mario Kart racing at Niagara Falls yet?
Yeah, man. My wife and I.
Is it fucking sick?
It's pretty friggin' sick, man. When my wife and I went a couple of years ago, it was actually funny that because the way the loop goes up and whatnot, there was a couple cars like stalling out. I guess it was a little bit too much of a climb, or maybe they were a little low on gas or something. So there's a couple times almost running into them. But when you get up to the top of that loop and you're going down through like the kind of the valley hills kind of there, it's pretty crazy. Like you feel like your go-kart might get a little bit of air. It's pretty sick,
dude. I love Niagara Falls and Buffalo, New York, and the Canadian side. Like I'm like a sucker for nature at the end of the day. Like I really am a believer in like it's the little things. Like that statement. As the older I get, the more that statement rings true. Whether it's just like sometimes you just need that day to spend with your significant other. You know. Yeah. And so the first time we toured and I went to Niagara Falls, I was just like awestruck. You know what I mean? And then like the next day the same day we hit Buffalo. I went to Bill's, you know, the birthplace of fucking buffalo wings.
Yeah.
Which also fucking blew my mind. And then we crossed into Canada and I had poutine for the first time. And I'm surprised that young me never moved to Canada. Let's just leave it like that. Like with how much I loved, like the first tour I did in Canada, the band flew me out a week early so I could meet everybody. I like stayed with their families. Like it was so hospitable. It was the Blind Witness guys. Do you?
Oh know?
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. So like they flew me out because they were doing a Canadian headliner, and the support was like all American bands. So it was like Blind Witness, Chelsea Grin, Attila, and I forget who the other band was.
I actually we were probably in the exact same room on that tour at one of the tour stops without knowing it. I'm trying to think of the fourth band too, but I remember that tour. I think that was like 2010, right?
I think so. Maybe 2008, somewhere in that like general gap. But so they flew me out, but like there was an issue with like, okay, well, we're not going to get me a work visa. We're going to fucking lie. And like about why I'm there. So I flew out early so it didn't look like I was going on tour. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like I think if I remember correctly, it was like a week and a half early. I stayed at one of the guys' houses, like Miguel, their old bass player, who's a famous tattoo artist now. He actually gave me my Star Wars tattoo.
Oh, that's fucking sick.
In the basement of his house.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah. So like, dude, I just how nice everybody is. The whole like the little region of the guy I stayed with, like none of the backyards have fences. Like they all just bleed into each other. I was like, dude, this shit would it would maybe happen in like the middle of fucking nowhere in America, but everybody would still be real weird about like, oh, that's my property. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, dude, just like the people were friendly. Like at the time, at least when I was there, I wasn't exposed to any racism, which I also thought was really nice. You know what I mean? Obviously it exists because it exists everywhere, but you know, what the hell? I don't want to, what's my computer's trying to screenshot what we're doing. No, no, I don't need that. Okay, there we go. Okay. Sorry. But yeah, Canada was tight. But yeah, dude, so I really want to take my lady to Niagara Falls because I want to do like, the falls lit up at night and then the fucking Mario Kart racing. And then obviously like, I mean, dude, when I was there, I don't know if it's still like this, but in Buffalo, I went to Bill's, dude, it was like $25. You got like a bucket of beers, or no, you got 2 pitchers of beer and a bucket of chicken wings for like $25.
Oh man.
And I was like, I don't need anything else in life.
Hell yeah. Like in all the different places too, like in Buffalo, like obviously there's Bill's, but all the other famous places and whatnot. I mean, you could like literally eat at a different wing stop at every single like day of the month, pretty much, if you really wanted to. You know what I mean?
Dude, it was great. It was great. Okay, so for those of you that might be watching that aren't familiar, or what is Rock the Walls, Patrick? Give me like a really easy synopsis.
So basically, it's a radio show that I do. I interview bands most of the time in around when they have new releases or stuff going on, and then as well spin music from bands that just drop new stuff within the scene. Maybe past guests of the show, guests would like to have on the show in the next little bit, and all that sort of stuff. So it's really awesome, and it's growing, and it's kind of evolved over time and over the years here to be the format that it is now. So basically on Thursdays I play the music portion as far as like new releases, that sort of stuff, and the interviews and whatnot. And then on Saturday's edition of the show on IDOBI Radio, it's basically just the interviews and the music from the bands that I'm interviewing type deal. Okay.
So yeah. It's all a revolving, I don't know if theme is the appropriate word, but you know what I mean. Like it's all the content's all loosely like the same and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. As far as just speaking to bands about new music, different stuff that they have going on. Sometimes not necessarily always bands come on. It'll be different people within the music industry and stuff. There's some other cool stuff going on and whatnot. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Well, that's awesome. And then, so how did you go from just doing Rock the Walls to being the Howl music director? So for everyone listening, Howl is the alternative is wrong. You do like the hard rock. It would be your hard rock station, right?
Yeah, like heavy metal, basically everything, from like the real.
Oh, hold on, Patrick. My internet shit the bed.
House. As far as like bands like Architects and Parkway and those kind of bands, you know what I mean?
Yeah. My internet lagged. I missed a little bit of that. Can you repeat yourself? I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, so IDOBI Howl is basically our heavy music station, as I like to say. When I'm on the air, basically, from breakdowns to blast beats, everything in between. Deathcore, death metal, hardcore, post-hardcore, metalcore, gent. You name it, we pretty much play it for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I've checked out the station before. I do wish it was a little easier to listen to on a mobile device. I will say, at least in America. I don't know if you have the same. I don't know how it works in Canada. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I've listened to the show before. You've been awesome. You've put a couple of my pen-up bands on the show before. Thank you for that. I know I always thank you, but thank you again.
Oh, yeah, man. No problem.
That's tight. That is tight. So how did you land? Like, how did you go from Rock the Walls to that? Was it when they started Howl with the intent of you in mind, or was Howl already a station?
So Howl started out about 8 years ago or so, give or take a few months here, back in 2013, and then I became the music director of the station back in May of 2017. So the person that was previously doing it, they had to step away from it to as far as like career and other stuff going on in their life, and was asked if I would like to do it, and it was just like, hell yeah, of course I would. I'd absolutely love to do that. So it's been a lot of fun doing it too.
That's tight. Now, I know syndicated radio and internet radio is a little different. I feel like you have a little bit more freedom, don't you?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of these bands, they tend to like to, say shit and fuck and words like that, within their songs and stuff. And obviously you can't get away with that in regular radio.
Yeah.
So, being able to play, the uncensored versions and whatnot is pretty cool. But as well, just like, you know, completely kind of shattering the box that is, you know, what's quote unquote, you know, a radio song. And like, you know, just because a band plays, you know, super heavy breakdowns or stuff like that doesn't mean that, you know, they're not going to get played on the radio and stuff, which is really cool to me.
And yeah, dude, you guys have always been very on the ball with like new music. Like every week you have a new playlist, and I'm like, dude, you're like, I found bands from your show that I didn't even know existed. Or or I see your post and I'm like, oh, that they put out a new song. Shit, maybe I should stop living under a rock, you know?
It's honestly, even as a music director, it's crazy keeping up with it, with everything that's released. It's so easy now with the way that things are. You know, obviously there's a couple of prominent sites here and there that post about you know, new heavy music and whatnot, but there's a lot of these bands where you know, the music sites aren't necessarily posting about them. So a lot of it, you know, is you know, either going through the submissions that bands can submit, you know, over on the idobi.com website, to, you know, just going out there and discovering and searching for these awesome new bands. You know what I mean? To me, you know, as a music director, I want to play the best music possible. And I mean, if you know, a quote unquote big band releases a shitty song, and you know, a smaller band releases just an absolutely awesome song that I think everyone should hear, I'm gonna choose the smaller band. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, no, what you've done, like I've seen, like I think it was just when we did the Summoning the Lich single, you had them up there with some fucking big names. I think it was either Summoning or Born Anew, one of the two. Like when they dropped something, it was like 3 huge bands were also on that list with them that week. So I was like, fuck, dude. Yeah, and that's what I love about working with you, is like you're a genuine dude. You know, like I like the you get what you see type people. You know what I mean? And you're one of those. And the show is awesome. You know, I haven't watched Rock the Walls in a little bit because we have our schedules conflict, as you know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely, for sure, man. And it's it's just crazy too, to just kind of see how stuff is shaped up within heavy music the last couple of years here. Cause I feel like, man, there's just so many great up and coming bands right now, to, you know, the bands that we've all known to come and love just releasing absolutely awesome stuff. So I feel like it's a great time. And, you know, once touring gets back here, I think, you know, there's going to be a lot of really awesome breakout bands that are going to come out of this.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny because here in California, I've always had the, I guess stigma is the appropriate term, or like I'm the metalcore promoter. You know what I mean? That's like, you know, but recently we've been doing a lot of death metal and started doing some more hardcore again too, obviously before COVID. But like I've always been the metalcore guy, and that's always kind of been like the running like joke. Like nobody means it in a mean way, but now I'm like, look what, like, it's back. Metalcore is back in like every facet, and it's all the bands that we all love are like revisiting that metalcore sound, and I could not be happier.
Yeah,
like
man.
When this trend dies off, I'll probably retire, because there's no way I can make it through the third time metalcore revolution. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But dude, yeah, I agree. I'm so excited to see who pops off, what goes on. I hope the industry can compensate.
Yeah,
because, you know, it's like they take care of their team first and the band's on their roster. And I wish I've talked about this with Mishko and Defonce and a few other people that have been on the show. Like, I wish everybody played together better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's gotten a lot real political, and it's like, I really enjoy when I meet other people in the industry that they do it because they fucking love it. And that's why, that's it. That's the only reason. That's why I do this shit. Like, yeah. I don't like the headaches and the stress and the fucking 3 a.m. phone calls, the van flipped over, and the fucking like, oh, my band didn't get enough fucking towels, so fuck you, bitch, they're not playing for you anymore. Like, you know, like all that stuff. It's like, dude, like, yeah, it was really funny because the last probably 4 months before COVID, I had a couple of bigger shows that I had worked on, and like at the end of the day, I just had to tell the agent, like, yo, I've been doing this for 15 fucking years. 10 of those years were with you. Do you trust me or not? Yeah. Okay, then shut up. I'm going to do the show. Your band is going to get paid. Stop. Like, stop treating me like I'm a 19-year-old kid booking this show in the back of a bowling alley or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and because there's so much just like ego, and like I call it like the pissing contest. It always has to be a pissing contest, and it's like the part of the music industry I fucking hate. But I love helping bands. I love booking bands to come play in my scene, in my town, in my area, and the place that I love, you know? So it's like, I love, you know, with the artist management company, like, I feel like we found a lot of bands that a lot of other companies have overlooked.
Yeah.
You know, they've been denied, or nobody would give a lot of the smaller artists we work with like the time of day. And like, that's why I started doing artist management in the first place, is like, I believe everybody deserves a shot, you know?
150%, man. And it's like, I don't, you know, get the people out there, and, you know, if anyone hears this and feels like it's related to them, you know, maybe it's time to, like, you know, take a solid look in the mirror yourself. But like, the people out there within the music industry, you know, and specifically kind of within this branch of you know, quote unquote heavy music, who just like try to just make themselves, you know, seem like the biggest deal, and like have to like show all the stuff off, and like tell everyone every day, you know, how they're the best and they're amazing and nobody's ever going to catch them and stuff like that. It's like, a lot of the time it's just like, yo, dude, like just be a real person. Like, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, I don't do this because I want to be, you know, the next Howard Stern, or, you know, the next Jose, you know, Mangan, or anything like that. It's like, I do this because I love this, and I want, you know, people to hear just a shitload of awesome new bands, and, you know, learn more about these bands and whatnot. And, you know, especially, you know, getting to interview as many bands as I have over the last 12 or 13 years, something that's pretty common. And, you know, might not be necessarily surprising to some people, but generally the biggest bands that I interview, we're talking like, you know, like bands that sell at like stadiums and stuff, they're the most humble, most genuine, most real people out there. So, you know, being fake and, you know, thinking you're the biggest deal because one of your songs might have, you know, 10,000 or 100,000 plays on Spotify, it's just like, it's not the way to go. And, you know, people who have been in the music industry a while, like me and you, and, you know, the tons of other people out there, they see through it pretty quickly when somebody's just, you know, driven by ego, or just trying to suck up to them, so they'll become like their agent or something like that. It's dumb. The other thing
I hate, and I'm sure you deal with this because you're technically, like, I would say you're a personality, you know, like, at least that's probably what us West Coasters would call you. Like, you're a radio personality, you know. The fucking people that are like, yo, I'm so-and-so, I just picked up this band because I picked them up. You know, they're phenomenal, so like, help me out. I hate that attitude. Like, dude, like, every time I email, like, there's like literally, I can count on one hand the number of people, or I would send a text message or an email like that, and it's like, it would be very informal because I do so much work with the people, and that's it. Like, even the people that I've worked with for 10, 12, 13, 14 years, I'm still like, hey man, like, I picked up this new band, check them out, here's a couple, like, very formal, very to the point. Like, yeah, I'll throw in a little bit of my fucking Joel Cupcake bullshit, you know what I mean, and be a little like little like friendly, you know. But like, it's still, like you said, there's still a way you have to do this and operate, and it's like, it doesn't matter who you manage or who you help to build. You know, I have a great track record, and I never throw it around, you know what I mean? You know, like, I mean, I'm going to right now because it's my show. But, you know, like, look at, like, I helped Spike get started. I helped Body Snatcher get started. I helped Rivals get started as well. And all three of those bands are and were fucking taking over before the pandemic started, you know? Rivals is hitting huge numbers with that most recent release. I'm so proud of those guys and Kaylee. You know what I mean? Spite is on, like, fucking every one of the big fests right now, dude. If you had told me that 5 years ago, like, I would have believed it, but like, I'm so happy for those fucking dudes because I know how hard they work, you know? So it's like, it's so sick to see that. And it's like, I could have a big old fucking pee-pee about all that stuff, and I don't. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, I remind people when it's needed, like when I'm disrespected. But you know, like, it's just, it's such a game of cat and mouse, and it's just so much crap, which is why I have not a lot of people from the industry on the show, you know? Like, everyone that's been on is someone I'm friends with. Because I don't want to deal with, like, I get people that hit me up to be on the show, but it's like, they want to talk about what they're, like, something they're doing. And I'm like, I don't want you to come on my show to just, like, I want my listeners to get to know that, like, you've watched the show. Everyone that comes on, it's like, this is a genuine setting. It's not a media bullshit overload. You know? And like, it might be coming out of my mouth sometimes. You know what I mean? On that note, by the way, Daniel at Topo Chico just sent me a bunch of stuff. Daniel, if you watch this, I love you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not sponsored. It's not an ad, just so everyone knows. I just absolutely fucking love Topo Chico. So
now, as far as things go for you on kind of like the promoter side and stuff, you know, with everyone you know, getting vaccinated and stuff starting back up. I mean, your email's got to be on fire right now as far as offers and stuff for months down the line, right? Or
so it's not. But I'm also like I mentioned, this is technically my 16th year being a promoter.
Yeah.
I'm being very selective with who I work with. Like I'm tired of like I don't think I need a 50 thread email chain to book a show.
Yeah.
You know, send me what you want when you want, and I'll send it back to you tight. You know, also, you know, a lot of people have this misconception on the outside that Pinup is like some huge company. Like we have big social media numbers. We've been around for fucking ever. And I appreciate that image. You know, there are plenty of promoters, even just in California, bigger than me, you know. But the other thing is most people don't realize is like all my team, like pretty much all of us volunteer, you know. I don't even make a livable wage off what I do because we all pay it forwards back into more shows because most of the people that work for us, they give their time because they love local music and they love our local scene and they love being a part of something more. You know what I mean? And so I'm not being hit up for this as much as I would like. I'm in an unusual predicament though, where like Live Nation's really encroaching on my surrounding areas. DIY is also back, which is like, that's how I started. So I get it.
Yeah.
But a lot of the bands just hit up their homies to book their shows one-on-one, which is fine. Like I just want shows to happen in the Bay. It doesn't matter who's doing them. You know what I mean? I want them to be done right and safely. And because like I've seen so many shows where like a band's like, they didn't play for me, and then either the show was shot or they got treated like shit or they didn't get paid, and then they're like, we're not going to come play NorCal again. And I'm like, dude, like don't hold that against like me and the people that would come to my show because you played for some lopdick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but I do have some cool stuff coming up.
Hell yeah.
Pinup's not really starting till August, unfortunately. I just, now I'm a little more open to the idea of everything being open quicker, but I in the back of my head, I have a really bad feeling about all this, but, you know, also everything reopening, like to put it bluntly, if we reopen and I book a bunch of shit and then it all gets canceled, I'm not coming back a second time. I don't care. I'll just go be a regular adult and get a normal job. You know, like this last year fucking wrecked me, like monetarily, like mentally, just like I'm not going through that again, even in like a 30%, even if it's like, you know, 60% less bad. I'm not doing all that. But that being said, yes, there's some baller ass shit coming up, like internationally, you know, in North America and over here in the West Coast that I'm very jazzed about.
Oh yeah, man.
Some of the tour lineups are stacked. Some of them, like, you know, I'm getting a lot of bands that I didn't think would come to me for shows that are. So it's nice to see a little bit of like, I mean, it might just be a demand thing and I might be the only fucking crazy enough promoter left to do some of these shows, which is fuck, I'll take that. I don't care. You know what I mean? So, but at the end of the day, I'm stoked. I'm ready, dude. Like, every time we do those, you know, we've done some live stream events, and every time we do those, I'm like, fuck, this is just seeing like the comments go off and people are like, there's always someone bitching about the sound. And then there's always people being like, this is almost like I'm at a real show. This is tight. Oh, I miss, like just seeing people interact that don't know each other in the comment thread. I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready for the shows to come back. I'm a little nervous, but I'm ready at the end of the day, you know, like, I trust the CDC way more than I trust the federal government or the state government. I don't know. How does it work in Canada? Do you guys go like you have like a regional body that oversees everything?
Yeah. So as far as like lockdowns and that sort of stuff, that's by province. So provincial.
Province. That's the fucking term. I knew that.
Yeah, and then federal. They decide a bunch of the other stuff as far as like CERB and that sort of stuff. So it'll be like a province by province thing.
Okay, cool.
But like over in like Eastern Canada, like the Maritimes, like New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia and stuff. It's like if you go.
Oh, you mean those rude ass French Canadians? No, I'm just kidding.
When you go there, like you have to like quarantine for 14 days, like no questions asked. Just like if anyone comes from an international flight here, they need to test negative before they get off the plane, test negative when they get off, and then they have to quarantine potentially in like a government mandated hotel for like 2 to 3 days. Test negative again, and then they finish the rest of their quarantine at home and stuff.
Yeah, they were doing, Hawaii was just doing that until very recently. It didn't even matter if you were in the States. If you flew to Hawaii, you couldn't leave Hawaii for 2 weeks. They wouldn't let you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like even if, I don't remember how it worked with like, if I think you got tested before you left, you didn't have to get tested when you arrived. You would get tested before you left, and then they'd make you quarantine regardless of your test results.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, I can think of a worse place to quarantine for 14 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Hawaii. So, but they finally reopened up a little bit. I think we're going to go in October. I think we're going out there. So,
nice.
Have you and the wife ever done Hawaii?
No. Haven't done Hawaii. We've been down to different places in the States a couple times. We've been to Vegas a couple years ago. That's been a real favorite place for us to go. And then
did you go to the Vegas Fight Club?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's in I want to say the Hollywood something, like the mall that's in there. I want to say, that's such a sick store.
Dude, best place for all the wrestling stuff, dude. Best. And I love that they even sell like the giant cardboard cutouts too. Yeah. Like they literally sell everything, dude.
Yeah. So many like shirts and like things I saw. I'm just like, oh my God, like I've never seen this before.
The last time we went, we didn't go. Because my girlfriend was like, "You'll spend too much money. We can't go in there." Like, because the last time we went in there, I dropped like $300 on shit. You know what I mean? Like, they had a bunch of like vintage rock stuff, and you know me, I'm a sucker for the People's Champ. You know what I mean? So, I fucking bought so much stuff, dude. Like, it was not good.
Now, have you had his new tequila yet? Apparently, it's pretty good stuff. I'm not a tequila guy personally, but
I have 2 bottles of it in the cabinet, so yes.
Nice.
Yes, I'm a huge rock mark. Even his shoes that he made only for working out, I bought them and I wear them like for everyday use. They're not that comfortable because they're definitely designed like very flat bottom lifting shoes. Yeah. But even those, I have a pair. But the tequila is great. I'm a tequila person in general, but his tequila, it doesn't burn when it goes down, and it mixes with stuff very well.
Oh, so nice.
If you can get it up there, I would suggest you try it. I like the Reposado better, the gold, but it's a preference thing. But yeah, I think it's great, dude. I've been watching Young Rock on NBC. I don't know. Have you checked that out yet?
No, I haven't had a chance to watch it. But
it's on Hulu if you have Hulu.
Hulu does not exist in Canada, unfortunately. What? But I'm sure it's either probably on. So like we still have Prime Video, Netflix. It might be on Crave. Crave is like a separate Canadian service that's owned by a company called Bell Media, who does like CTV, TSN, that sort of stuff. Okay. They put a lot of that stuff. I think they have the HBO Max and stuff is on there too.
Okay. All right, then it's probably on that. Yeah, it's an NBC property too. So I'm assuming NBC. It exists in Canada, right?
Oh yeah. We get NBC shows and stuff.
Yeah. So whatever the NBC, whoever they have their licensing agreement with, you could watch it there.
Oh,
but dude, it's good. It is like the actors they got to play like Macho Man and Andre the Giant and the Angry Samoans or the Wild Samoans. I don't know why I called them Angry Samoans. No, it is Angry Samoans, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't know. They're all like spot on. The kid that plays Young Rock is good. The kid that plays like Teenage Rock is like phenomenal. Like the show's funny, and like what a lot of people I don't think have realized is the show's actually written. It takes place in 2032, and The Rock's running for president.
Oh,
so every episode is like, hey, the people of America want to know about this issue, or how you feel about this. So everything is like, well, let me tell you about this time. Blah, 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 blah. So it's cool. It's like,
that's awesome,
dude. And it's like, I thought it was going to be like too cheesy at first, because like, The Rock can do some kind of kiddie stuff that's like, I still think he's fucking hilarious, but like, and you're like, NBC, but it's actually really good. Like they talk about a lot of real stuff. You see a lot of cool stuff about Rocky Johnson, his dad, and it's like, dude, as a kid, like literally like, he freaking, if he was goofing off too much or being out of line, like Andre would just pick him up and say, and they all called him Dewey as a kid. That was his nickname. Like instead of Dwayne, they called him Dewey. I don't know how they got to that, but dude, I love it. It's good. You should definitely check it out if you can. I think especially as a wrestling buff, you'll find like a lot of humor in it.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. I can't wait to check that. Another thing wrestling related that I'm definitely looking forward to, I know it dropped last night, is the Nick Gage episode of Dark Side of the Ring. I know that that's going to be an adventure, to say the least.
Dude, so Vice, they have their heads so far up their own ass in America. It was impossible to watch their show until like very recently it got added to Hulu. Like the Vice channel is now, so on Hulu, there's 3 tiers. There's basically like the basic tier, and then there's the add-on tier. So like you can choose like I want HBO Max and Stars, whatever, you know. And then there's the live TV tier, which is like $75 a month. And like you can watch programs in real time, which is cool. But like Vice was on that, and I was like, dude, ain't nobody wants to pay that. No, stop. And then like I think it was about a month or 2 ago, I went on Hulu and I was like, oh, all the Vice programs, like I can watch what I want on Vice now. You know what I mean? So I finally got to catch up, or I finally got to start Dark Side of the Ring. So I'm like halfway through the 2nd season. So, nice. But yes, that Nick Gage episode is going to be fucking bonkers. And I love that like Moxley and all the boys are in it too. Like, yeah, I was, dude, that fucking, the double Chris Benoit episode like fucked me up. Like so sad. Yeah. I don't want to watch the Owen one. It's gonna break me. I know it's gonna break me.
Yeah, man. He was one of my favorites growing up as a kid. Like the
especially you being Canadian. Like
like the entire Hard Foundation. Like those are my boys when I was like 6, 7 years old, getting into wrestling and stuff.
Yeah, I love that Natty's still doing it, man. Like I wish WWE utilized her a little better, but she's dude. I've always enjoyed her work. And you know, I know he's not a Hart technically, but TJ was great. You know, when he was still able to wrestle, like when him and Cesaro were BTE, dude, that was
so good.
So that was literally my favorite of like that era. That was probably my favorite tag team.
Well, it sounds like too that, you know, a lot of the great matches that are happening, you know, on NXT, you know, TJ is actually, you know, one of the agents, you know, kind of behind them and stuff, you know, helping all the new talent out and stuff. So it's great to see him still involved, you know, despite that, like just super fortunate.
It's like so weird because like you hear all this bad shit about WWE, but then like look at the ways they're taking care of TJ. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at the way, like it's so back and forth. It's like certain elements of that company are run incredibly well. And certain elements of that company, you're just like, what the living fuck is going on, dude?
Yeah.
I heard that Dark Side of the Ring episode about Owen. I saw that Vince McMahon got a lot of heat because is it like Owen's wife is on there and basically like, oh, Vince went with a different company for the zip line because they were $800 cheaper or something like that. And then like that's basically why Owen died, because it was a cheaper company and Vince wanted to save. It wasn't even $1,000. And that's, you know, and I was like, fuck, like I saw a clip of his wife saying that and I was like, oh, this episode's going to be, whew.
Yeah. It's insane. And like, yeah. Cause I mean, like you think about like, you know, hopefully Owen getting inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame one day. But I mean, I don't think that relationship is changing anytime soon. I mean,
no,
rightfully so. I mean, she lost, you know, her husband, the love of her life. And like, you know, you've never, ever heard any wrestler ever say a single bad thing about Owen Hart. It's always just about how he's such a great person, how he always had the funniest jokes or ribs and stuff like that. So
yeah, no, like there's, I don't know.
Yeah, man.
I don't know, but word. Well, shit. Well, what are you? What about you? What are you looking forward to with like both your shows coming up? You got anything rad you're stoked on?
Yeah, so on this week's show, I'm not sure when this is going to be going up, but I have Travis Stever, who people might know as guitarist of Coheed and Cambria. He's the bassist in a new band that he's started called Zero Trust. I also have the vocalist of the band, BJ Allen, who people might know from his work in Full Scale Riot, GMK. So really cool, you know, kind of like super group. And the way that they came together, you know, to record, you know, their debut EP. They also have, you know, a full length that's ready to go type deal. That was really awesome to hear that. Really great job with those guys. And then as well, Let's see here. Keonaji, I'm doing an interview with Peter and Ryan coming up here in the next couple days. And then as well, other bands on tap like Pop Evil. I just did a really amazing interview with their vocalist Lee. And, you know, talking just a bit like real people in the music industry and stuff. That guy is just like, was absolutely unbelievable. Just super awesome, super great guy. From Ashes to New is also on this week's show. And then other bands like Osiaya, they just dropped a new album, Loss, on Unique Leader Records. And then as well, like Kitty is Divinity, Vexed, a couple other bands that are going to be coming up here as well in the next little bit that while I am working on confirming, I'm not the kind of person who's like, yeah, this interview is going to happen for sure. Because then when I say it publicly, then it doesn't happen.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I just kind of look like a dick. So yeah,
trust me.
So yeah, a lot of really, really great stuff on tap and cool conversations that I can't wait for people to hear. You know, a lot of the bands that I just mentioned and their releases and just like hearing, you know, what went into them and how personal they were for them and stuff. It's you know, it's some really amazing and really awesome stuff.
That's awesome. So I have a question for you. I've never gotten to have a radio person on the show. So like what's your favorite, like what is your absolute like favorite part of what you do?
I think my favorite part of what I do is just being able to have just in-depth conversations with these bands and being able to, you know, just really go in-depth about their music, but as well, and, you know, aside from the show side of things and, you know, on the music director side of things, but I guess also, you know, as a radio host, when you know, I hear a new band or a new album, you know, with what I do, I'm very and I say this, I'm like very fortunate, very privileged, honored to be able to, but I often get albums, you know, sometimes like 3-4 months before they're released. So to, you know, hear these songs and before anyone else and hearing it, and you're just like, man, like this album is legitimately going to change this band's entire career, and just getting so excited for them and knowing that just like craziness is coming up. That's really awesome to, you know, just coming across new bands that I've never heard that just absolutely blow me away and seeing them grow into awesome and amazing bands. I mean, just in the past on the show, about 5.5 years ago, I was the first ever interview that the band I Prevail did. One of the listeners to my show, shout out to Adam. He said, hey man, one of my coworkers at Domino's Pizza, one of the drivers, Brian, their vocalist, he has this new band. They're going to be dropping their new EP. It's like really sick. You should check it out. I checked it out. I was like, which would be the Heart versus Mind EP. I was like, this is awesome. Hell yeah. I'd love to talk with them. I think they dropped their Blank Space cover either a day or two before or a day or two after. And, you know, as they say, the rest is history. But hearing all of the conspiracy theories about that band is hilarious, about people thinking, you know, that they're like some sort of like a studio band or like a music industry creation or whatnot. You know, I interviewed this band and like post interview, you know, like, yeah, like we don't have a booking agent, we don't have a manager, like, you know, like we're discussing all those things right now. Like these guys really like did it from themselves from the ground up. So like getting your stuff like that, you know, being the first you know, North American interview for a band like Crystal Lake, to like just a ton of other awesome bands. Recently did one with the band Eskimo Callboy, who's been making some waves the past year with the Hypa video. So yeah, it's like honestly, like almost every single aspect of it is something that like I'm just really passionate about. Even just like getting you know, scheduling the music out and then going through each hour and just like making sure it's you know, it's not anything too extreme as far as like it going from like, let's say like a Madball song into like Slaughter to Prevail or something, and just like, you know, the little things and stuff like that. So I think it's just, you know, music discovery, you know, meeting new people, getting to help share their stories, get their music out there and get more people into them. I just think that's absolutely amazing and awesome. It's a great time, man.
Good. Now I do like occasionally to be a little informative with my show. So let me take my hat off. You know what I mean? You know, let me put on my business face real quick. You know, so Patrick, if a band wants to get their music played on your show, you know, what is the best? What do you like to see in like a present? Like, how do you recommend bands go hit up internet radio?
As far as it goes, if they hit up the submission link on our website, which is real easy, it's just idobi.com/submit. That's a great way to do it. Also, if bands send me an email just to my name, Patrick.Walford at idobi.com to, all the time, just friends of friends and stuff, posting bands on Facebook and stuff. If a band happens to send me a Facebook message and it's not a, run of the mill copy and paste message that they've sent to 3,000 other people, but just like a message being like, hey man, what's up? This is, our band, we're releasing this or whatnot. Yeah. I'm fine with that too. Just the copy and paste messages. They're definitely the ones that are killer, and the ones that you're kind of just like, come on, man. I know. Come on.
I know. Every once in a while I find myself sending one of those when it's like about certain things, and I'm like, no, let me I'm just I'll keep all the links and the info, but the beginning message I'm gonna personalize,
Yeah.
So I feel it. That's tight. Yeah. That's tight. Okay. Yeah, I know. I mean, bands, Patrick's not lying to you. It's always been easy. Like, him and I are to the point where I just fucking message him on fucking Facebook. So he's easy to work with. Don't be shy. He's a good dude. Did you check out one of our new bands? They're called Aphasia. We just dropped their music video on Knotfest.
No, I haven't. I'm gonna have to go and check that out. I have a feeling it's gonna be pretty sick.
You'll love the song. You'll be like, dude, they came at it like they sent us, to work with us, and we were like, this is pretty good. And then they sent us the new stuff, and Josh E and I were like, how has nobody ever heard of this fucking band? And then now their single dropped with Knotfest. I think that was about 2 weeks ago, just a little less, and it's fucking popping. You'll like it. I'll link it to you when we get off the episode.
Fuck yeah, man. Yeah. I would say, just still on that point, like any bands listening to this or whatever, just like if you're ever pitching your music, just be yourself, like just be a genuine person. And as well, and I mean, I'm sure you can chime in on this a bit. If anyone asks you for several hundreds of dollars to get you on a quote unquote official Spotify playlist, they're lying, and Spotify, there's no money involved in getting added to an official Spotify set list.
Yeah, so and a lot of those people are getting busted, and their playlists are getting deleted. So don't do any of the Spotify scams. Do the research, learn on your own. As far as pitching goes to the Spotify programs, 3 to 5 weeks is the sweet spot. I don't care what your label tells you, unless you're on fucking Universal or someone that has a direct Spotify plug. You try to aim for the 5-week margin, especially if you're a metal band. I don't even know if, last I heard, they don't even have a head of metal at Spotify right now. So all the other curators from the other departments are chiming in. Like when we dropped that Wolf King record, Patrick, they didn't appear on any playlist till 2 weeks after the album came out.
Oh, and wow.
They sent out an email to like one of the distros I work with that was like, hey, sorry, like everyone else is pulling double duty. We don't have anybody running metal right now.
Oh, wow.
That might be fixed by now, because that was about a month ago. So I would hope they fixed it. But
yeah, because
Spotify actually has a very small team, and most people don't realize that. Like, for how much money that company makes, there's very few people that actually work with the playlisting and all that.
Yeah, because wasn't there, I don't know if it was a couple weeks or a couple months back now, but I remember seeing a couple people get pretty pissed off because didn't they delete a couple of the pretty prominent heavy music playlists that they had?
Yes, and that's because the person that was in charge of metal, I believe, was curating those, and nobody wanted to do it or knew how to do it, so they just got rid of the playlists. That's all. Anybody watching, that's all hearsay. Like obviously I don't have a report from fucking Spot. It's not like I can email Spotify, hey, where'd your fucking playlist go that my band was on? Like, they're not gonna fucking respond to me. They don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but word. All right. Well, Patrick, I have a few questions for you before we go. This is the fun part of the show. I have to tweak them a little bit for you, but it's all good. It's all good. Actually, okay. I have one selfish question before we go to the end of the show. All right. Are you ready?
Yep. Okay.
Let me finish the full question, because this is going to start and sound a little rude when I start. Okay. So you sound like a Californian, except for when you say like out and about, you know what I mean? So my question for you, and if anybody doesn't notice, if you've never heard a Canadian speak, just don't be fucking stupid. Like, everybody in the different parts of the world sounds a little different than us. My question to you, Patrick, is every time I'm in Canada or on the East Coast, I get a really weird, I'm not even going to call it a compliment. They tell me I have a Californian accent. Is that a real thing?
Honestly, I didn't know that it was a thing to be quite honest with you, but I know it's honestly the about or like the out or the house or the mouse or different words that I say that people definitely notice it. I think for the most part, I mean, yeah, I guess there's a couple of people here and there, but from what I know, it's kind of like an only me thing, at least in, my extended friends and family that, my wife sometimes makes fun of me for the way I say about it every now and then. But yeah, I've actually heard people say to me a couple times, oh, like, you have a bit of like an American accent. You sound like you're from America. You don't sound like you're Canadian type deal. Cause,
when we met at Warped Tour, and you're like, "What's up, man? It's Patrick." And I was like, I totally expected you to have like way more of an accent. And then, so like it didn't catch me off guard here. Yeah. Oh, he there. My favorite Canadian line, and I say this, and every time Trina talks to me about when I used to go to Canada, is those blind witness dudes. They always say, "Oh, fuck sakes." And that's always my, like, I'll say that, like when I'm gaming, when I'm streaming, sometimes I'll just pull out the, "Oh, fuck sakes." And people are like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, you had to be there, dude. You had to be there.
Now, did they, when you were out on tour with them, did they have you saying tabernacle pretty often?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We're not going to talk about what that means on the show, but yes, I was tabernacling quite a bit. And then it was funny. Remember I made that comment about French Canadians earlier? It's because the last night of tour was in Quebec City, and the fucking promoter kept trying to talk to me in French. And I knew I took a little bit of French in high school, and I had like a dictionary with me, so I knew enough. And then I remember I was trying to get something done for the bands, right? And the promoter and I are just kind of sitting there going back and forth. And Jonathan from Blind Witness walks up, and I just hear him, all the cuss words they had just taught me in French just fucking come out of his mouth. And then he switches to English, and he goes, "I know you speak English. He speaks English. Stop being an asshole." And the promoter looks at me and just starts talking to me in English. And I was like, "Are you fucking serious?" Yeah. And he was like, "Yeah, that's normal. Like, they don't like to use English. And if you don't know French, they're rude to you." And I was like, fuck. And I was like very nice the whole time. Like, yeah.
They sometimes, I'm not going to say all, because it's definitely not all, but many times when they know people from Ontario are there in Quebec, sometimes they're not very friendly with just a lot of them. Yeah, they do speak English, but they don't want to help the Ontario or the Torontonians. So
that's funny, because I've been to France, and they're nicer in France than they are in French Canada to like the foreigners. It's like so weird to me, because it's kind of the same attitude where like you kind of have to like, "Hey, do you like," if you ask them "Hey, do you know English?" They'll just like snuff at you. But if you go, "Oh, like parlez-vous anglais?" Like they'll look at you, and then they'll be like, "Yeah, I know English. What's up, man?" Like they just it's like they want you to just make the effort. You know?
Yep.
Like, I don't know. If any French Canadians are listening to this, I'm fucking sorry.
Yeah, but, no, all the love to Quebec. For the most part, my experiences with Quebecers has been 99.9% positive.
Yeah.
So
much
love Quebec.
I love the city. Quebec City is fucking gorgeous, man. Like, it was like a whole nother, like, I've seen almost all of Canada except Vancouver, really.
Yeah.
And then we got to Quebec City, and I was like, holy shit, dude. Like, it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous city. So very, very old school. I always forget how long that city's been around too, Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like, I tell people that it looks like a more old San Francisco without all the bullshit. That's what I tell people. That's what it reminds me of.
Nice. Yeah. I haven't had the chance to go to Quebec City, but I've been to Montreal a couple times, and it's definitely awesome there.
Oh, I love Montreal. Yeah. I wish I could go. I think I'm allowed back in the country. We had like an issue with last time I was there, I had like permission to enter the country. And like, you know how when you cross the border, like if you don't cross on the right side, you have to turn around and go like all the way back. We had to do that. And like my paperwork had expired. And I was like, yo, we just like, I couldn't see where the entrance was leaving to this office. Like, I'm really sorry. So like the person on the American side was like, oh yeah, like I'll take your paperwork over and I'll explain what happened. And I never heard if he did or not, because they were like, if you abuse this permission, you won't be allowed in the country for 10 years. And I was like,
oh wow.
But that was 2010, so I'm good now.
Yeah, that's happened to a couple bands where, you know, they come in, like they say like, yeah, you're allowed in, but you're banned from the country for like 5 or 10 years or something like that. Like, I'm not going to name the band just in case there's any legal ramifications, but they're a big enough band that they you know, ride in a tour bus. They were at the Canadian border. Everything was cool. They crossed. They were 45 minutes into Canada. They called them up. Were like, you guys need to get back to the border absolutely immediately. Turn around right now. They turned around. They banned the vocalist for 10 years. Luckily, a couple of years later, they were able to reverse that, and the band's been in and out again. But like, it's like, holy crap, man.
Well, yeah, I've had a few bands where it's like they'll go and like, because your border laws are pretty restrictive with like, you get 1 DUI and you can't even come into Canada.
Oh yeah.
So like I've had like a couple bands where it's like, oh hey, you know, our second guitar player is in a hotel in fucking Buffalo for 4 days. You know, like something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it actually happens more frequently than not. But
yeah,
it always blows my. So every time I've had to enter the country, I'm like, oh, what am I going to get in trouble for today? And they've actually always been great to me personally. They're better than our own border patrol. I'll tell you that much, dude.
Like it's crazy too, because you know, a couple, I want to say 2016, 2017 is when Warp didn't come up here to Toronto. And I really believe a solid reasoning for that, you know, aside from Toronto being one of the smaller dates in the grand scheme of things on the tour, is the year before, I believe it was 2015. Okay. Like a very, very good chunk of bands were stuck at the border for upwards to like 6 to 10 hours. They had to push back the gates for Warped Tour. There were some bands that legitimately, by the time they got to the border, they got to the venue, they set up on stage, they played their set, they maybe did, you know, a quick meet and greet or something at their merch tent. They're packed up and they, you know, they're back down into the States type deal. Like, so just crazy. Logistically, it was really
I couldn't
tough.
imagine that with like Warped. Oh God, dude, I would. Poor Kevin Lyman, bro. That's all I have to say. I would be freaking.
Yeah, 100%.
But okay, all right. Some questions for you. Let's start off with the most basic of them all. What's your favorite color?
That's a good question. I'm gonna say navy blue and burgundy because I'm a Colorado Avalanche fan.
Yes, you are. No, I'm just kidding. You know, I followed Colorado for a while because my favorite Sharks goalie growing up went from the Sharks to the Avs. So I can respect that. I can respect it. It's okay. It's okay. They're a fine team. They're you know, dude, they're not the Knights or the Kings, so I'm not mad. You know what I mean?
Dude, that fucking playoff series 2 years ago, Landeskog at the blue line in Game 7, man.
Yep.
Oh, it's brutal.
Well, we'll go off subject real quick. I'm surprised your favorite hockey team is Colorado and not one of the Canadian teams.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird, but growing up about, I guess it was like 6, 7 years old, I decided that because the minor hockey team I was playing on didn't have a goalie, that I would put my hand up and you know, be the person to try goalie. So I tried it once, enjoyed it, and you know, I've been a goalie ever since. But you know, because Patrick Waugh, he had the same name as me. I'm, you know, 6 years old. Pretty simple stuff for a favorite player. Colorado became my favorite team then, and you know, just growing to love them. You know, in my childhood, I was pretty lucky. You know, when I was 11 years old, they won that second Stanley Cup with Ray Bourque and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then just always, you know, following with them throughout the years and stuff. The season's been crazy. I can't believe, you know, President's Trophy winners. Hasn't necessarily been a good thing for a lot of teams over the years, but the last time the Avs won it, they did go on to win the Stanley Cup.
Oh, that's true. So, you are correct. Yes.
Yeah, but I don't know. I maybe it's the Leafs fans. They can be pretty funny, insufferable. I know it's not the entire fan base, but there's definitely a select few out there that are a little super extra. And I mean, you know, bringing it back to radio, I used to work at a TSN Radio, which is guess is basically like the ESPN equivalent here in
Okay.
Canada. And one of my jobs used to be, cutting the clips from press conferences and stuff.
Oh no!
And hearing some of the questions that some of the reporters and journalists asked, pretty clear either they weren't paying attention to the game or they don't have a real clear understanding of hockey. And some of the questions that they ask them, just like, let's say they lose 6-1. It's like, how'd you feel about that game tonight? It's like, I don't know. They lost 6-1. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, what do you think they're gonna say to you right now?
Yeah, man. So I always love it. Every once in a while when you see a player give it back. I know Jacob Voracek on the Flyers this year, a reporter asked him how this season and last season was different with the COVID restrictions. And first off, he's like, well, first off, I just want to say it doesn't matter what I say because you're going to write effing crap anyways.
Oh, my God.
And there's a player beside him. I think it was Travis Konechny. He's just like trying so hard not to laugh.
I mean, they're not wrong. They're not wrong, though. I love it. Yeah. All right. What is? I'm gonna change these next couple questions for you because you're an international superstar. What is your favorite Canadian food, and what's your favorite American food?
I mean, across the board, honestly, the more I think about it as life goes on, it's probably a little bit of a problem, but like I'm just a big time burger and fries guy. Like I could legitimately eat burgers and fries for every single meal of every single day. My
lady, when we go out with her folks, her dad will be at like the nicest motherfucking steakhouse and her dad gets the burger and fries. So I feel it, dude. I had to stop eating the amount of cheeseburgers I was eating because I love a good burger. So I feel you.
Yeah. American, I always love In-N-Out when I'm down in the States, so shout out to In-N-Out.
That's right.
A place that I really started to enjoy, my wife, Brandy, she's a huge cheese connoisseur. So the deep fried cheese curds at I'm not sure if it's like United States wide, but the deep fried cheese curds at Culver's, unreal.
I don't even know what's Culver's. I don't even know what that is.
Oh, so yeah. So I guess it's not really national, but they have a couple in Michigan and a couple other states that we've been to. But basically, it's like burgers and like chicken fingers, all regular fast food stuff, and then they have like deep fried cheese curds. They also have like these crazy like custom milkshakes and ice cream blizzards you can get and stuff like that. So that's pretty good. And here in Canada, I mean, I love a good poutine. Can't go wrong with a good poutine. That's for sure.
So I have this is my 46th episode with a guest. And on at least 10 episodes, I have talked about how much I fucking love poutine. So I'm going to spare my guests talking about it, but I fucking love it, Patrick. Did you know the Smokes is in America now?
No, I didn't.
Dude, we have one in fucking Berkeley, like 5 minutes from the venue I do all my shows at.
Oh, fuck. That's sick, man.
Yeah, so Smokes is like slowly starting to like infiltrate, and I'm like, anytime I'm up in the Bay, I'm like, yeah, who wants poutine? They're like, huh? I'm like, who wants poutine? Everyone's like, huh? I'm like, shut the fuck up. You're trying poutine. Like, we had a big festival 3 years ago that my team was a part of, and I made everybody go eat there afterwards. And it kind of worked that everybody was hammered because poutine's like the best drunk food. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, we went and everybody was like, this is so good. I was like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, like you can't go wrong. Like whether you just get the traditional there, you get any of the other specialty ones they have, they're all pretty much amazing.
Dude, and then I tried it the one time with the poutine, but instead of fries, it's tater tots.
Ooh,
yeah,
I haven't tried that yet.
I was like, that's just another. I don't know if I'm ready for that again. Like I've only done it once. I don't know if I like. It was like that fucking Power Man 5000 song when worlds collide. That's my whole mouth was that song, dude. Like, but also deep fried cheese curds. I don't know if you know this. I have a Buffalo Wild Wings tattoo.
Oh, sick!
I'm a sucker for that place.
B-dubs, baby.
Yeah, B-dubs, baby. They have deep fried cheese curds on the menu. I'll literally go there and just order a large basket of that and not even get wings.
Nice. They're actually I think there's one or two on like the outskirts of Toronto, but they're actually gonna have a B-dub somewhere in the somewhat downtown core. So I'm really looking forward to that. There was one up near my parents' place a couple of years ago that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, we have one here. I have to be careful because I'll just eat chicken wings every day of my fucking life. You know what I mean?
Now, Yeah. Now, are you a ranch or blue cheese guy?
Okay. So
this is like super important to some people.
Okay. I'm going to say something that if you haven't toured, you don't understand this answer. Okay. I only eat ranch unless I'm east of the Mississippi, because on the East Coast, blue cheese is not thick and spicy. It's creamy and delicious. Like the West Coast loves chunky blue cheese. I hate chunky blue cheese. If you actually whisk it all the way and it has the same consistency as ranch, that is what wings belong in. But us fucking hippies over on the West Coast don't know how to make blue cheese. So usually I'm a ranch person. I don't know if you're ever going to be in New Mexico again, Patrick, but I implore you, there's a place called Dion's, okay? It's a pizza chain. I actually was just in New Mexico visiting my parents. I brought a bottle of their ranch home with me. They make their own ranch, Patrick. I'm like 0% fucking with you. It is the best ranch you'll ever eat in your entire fucking life.
Fuck yeah. Yeah.
And then also, if you want to try something delicious, this is my number one food hack that most people don't believe. Do you guys have Chipotle in Canada, or is it Qdoba up there? Okay.
Yep.
So you know how Chipotle has their own Chipotle Tabasco sauce?
Yep.
Okay. Go to Wingstop and get the Wingstop ranch and mix the Chipotle Tabasco sauce in it and dip your fries in that, and you'll fucking thank me later. Like, just... That's probably my like number one food hack, and everyone thinks it's ridiculous for like combining those two restaurants, but it
just works. It's just right.
Works. It just works. Oh god, now I'm hungry. Damn it, Patrick. Okay, what is your favorite food you can't get in Toronto? Because like I know you travel for work, so like what's your favorite thing that you love to eat not at home?
I would definitely still say In-N-Out, just because with IDOBI kind of being based in California, anytime I go out there, generally the first thing I do when I get off the plane, get into my rental car is like hit an In-N-Out almost immediately.
I respect that.
That's definitely the go-to. I'm a sucker for just any sort of local hole in the wall sort of place, or like a, any place anyone recommends to me, just because, in the music industry and stuff, if somebody who tours like, you need to try this spot, that they've been to a lot of places in their time, you should probably listen to them. You know what I mean?
Respect. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We come from Mexican food central over here on the West Coast. So I know the hole in the wall spots are the better food. Trust me.
Yeah.
There's no argument there.
There's a place in Los Angeles that's not too far from our studio that Tom Chaney, owner, and then Fish, one of the other IDOBI hosts, took me to when I was there last January. I want to say it's called Beer and Salsa, or Beers and Salsa. I think it's a pretty like well-known place or something there in LA.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
unreal Mexican food.
There's a place next time you're in Vegas, next time you and the wife go, there's this place over by the Top Golf, a little off the strip. It's literally just called Tacos and Beer. But
nice.
They have like 30 different kinds of tacos, bro.
Holy
and
shit.
It's cool. You walk in, the roof of the building, all the lights are Hispanic prayer candles emptied out upside down, hanging. And then above the bar is just a giant, like hand chiseled wood carving of Cheech and Chong, bro.
Oh wow.
It's so tight. I go there literally every time we're in Vegas. That's like the one place I have to eat.
Yeah, there's so much good food in Vegas. We can't wait until we're vaccinated and the borders open up and we're able to go to Vegas again, because I know they added like the zip line now down near where like the Link Ferris wheel is. And stuff.
Yes. I think that was there last time we were there. I don't do heights very well.
Yeah, same.
I'm like a giant fucking wussy. Dude, we did the Ferris wheel and I couldn't handle it, dude. I felt so bad for Trina. We like got to the top and she's like taking pictures and I was just like sitting in the middle of the thing, like just like slamming my drink, like get me the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah. Brandy, she did the zip line, the Slotzilla zip line, which was really cool. And then as well, going back to Niagara Falls, when we were there just before COVID hit, she was able to take a zip line like across not fully across, obviously, to the American side or anything, but a zip line like along the falls, which is pretty cool. Something
See,
new.
I'd probably do that just because like that's like a once in a lifetime thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I don't need a zip line in Vegas where I think I'm just gonna fall and smash a bunch of people. You know what I mean? Like in Niagara, I'd be like, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna tell me she fucking did the barrel ride, and I was like, holy shit, you have a badass wife, dude.
Yeah.
Word. Well, you know, the next question I was going to ask you is, do you prefer In-N-Out or Whataburger? But you already answered that.
I haven't had Whataburger, but I remember when I had Ocean's 8 Alaska on the show, they probably spent a good 5 minutes talking about how much they love Whataburger and
That's
how much better they like it than In-N-Out, and they just kept saying in their English accents, "What a fucking burger, man!" So it was classic.
I love it. Okay, I respect that. Have you spent enough time on the East Coast? Do you have a difference between Sheetz and Wawa? Do you have like a preference?
Brandy and I, we got into this a bit, and as far as trying to decide which one was better when we were on Warped Tour in the summer of 2018, and I don't know. I mean, Andy Peck, he is like the Sheetz like ambassador of all ambassadors, the king of matzo sticks.
Yes.
So knowing that, like, oh well, Andy loves the matzo sticks, I gotta go and try them. They're pretty good, but honestly, it really messed me up when we're, you know, going to Sheetz and Wawa and stuff. I'm just like, dude, this is like a convenience store / gas station, and you can get all of this food here. Like, just, I mean, yeah, there's like, you know, gas stations here in Canada with like fast food places, you know, like McDonald's and Wendy's and that sort of stuff.
But this is different. People that have never been to understand. Like, we have a lot of friends from here that haven't toured, and when I'm with all the guys who tour, we talk about Sheetz. They're like, so it's like a fancy 7-Eleven. We're like, you don't fucking understand. No. Like, yeah,
it's great too, because it's like, oh man, like I want to try this, but I want to try this, but I want to try that. Oh, I can get like all three and then like a burger and some other stuff for like $10. Sweet, sounds good.
Yeah, there's in New Mexico, there's a chain of gas stations called the Pickwick. And they actually have something in the gas stations called Santa Fe Grill. Okay. So when I moved there, I was like, oh, gas station burritos, I'm out. Like, no.
Yeah.
You know, I finally had a friend take me to get one. Bro, they have like 45 flavor options from a gas station grill.
Holy shit.
It is fucking incredible. Like, I literally never thought I would say a gas station burrito is one of my favorite places to eat in a state, but it fucking is. Like, they have this burrito called the Medicine Man. It's green chili and queso. Oh god, with potatoes and fucking. I want to say, I think it's asada. If I remember, it's been a couple of years since I've had it, but dude, yeah. And I'm a big green chili sucker. Like from living in New Mexico. Oof.
Yeah,
that's
the best.
Anyways, you know, have you ever been to Buc-ee's?
I've never been to Buc-ee's.
Okay, you got to go to Buc-ee's.
The memes are enough to make me want to go.
I wanted to get a Canadian's opinion of Buc-ee's, but you haven't been, so that's fine. That's fine.
We have, I think, something kind of maybe similar a little bit that they started a couple of years here ago called the Rec Room. Although I don't think it's as much like kid centered, but they have like a whole area for like, you know, arcade games and stuff like that. And then we also have Dave and Buster's up here. But
yeah,
Buc-ee's seems like it's the next level.
Well, Buc-ee's, it's literally just a giant, it's the nicest gas station you'll ever be in. So it's like if Walmart was a gas station, that's what it is. But then half the room is just covered in that fucking beaver logo.
Shit. I don't know why. I thought Buc-ee's was like similar to like Chuck E. Cheese a little bit. I have no idea why.
I know why. I know, because out front of every Buc-ee's, there's a big brass beaver statue. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why. And all of us, anybody that loves Buc-ee's, you take a picture with the buck, dude. Like, it's okay. But no, you walk in and like I took my girlfriend there for the first time. We flew out for So What a couple years ago.
Nice.
The last one Mike did in Houston, and we flew out, and she'd never been, and I was like, and she has to hear me fucking. I mean, I have a Buc-ee's sticker on my fucking car. I have one on the fridge. Like, I had a Buc-ee's pop socket for like 3 of the years we were together and shit. And so we walked in, and she's like, "Holy shit!" And I was like, "Nicest gas station you're ever gonna be in." And then you just have so much branded Buc-ee's stuff, dude.
Yeah.
But anytime you're in Texas, just make sure you go.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah. If next time you're out there, you know, maybe you have to fly out and meet me for one of like Zemer's festivals or something.
Dude, I've been wanting and meaning to go to one of those for literal years. So yeah, that definitely has to be a thing post COVID.
He just announced in December they're doing Unsilent Night, which is like alt rock.
Yeah.
It's alt rock and pop punk, so it's not as much heavy stuff.
Yeah,
but I'll probably, because I have a lot of like family traveling I have to do. They're like in like fall.
Yeah.
So I'll probably take that trip for a winter for myself.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah. But anyways, I think I only have one final question for you, sir, and it's the heater. All right. Are you ready?
I am.
Actually, I have two questions for you. Should I watch Letterkenny?
That's a big 10-4.
Okay. I have a bunch of friends that watch it, and they're like, Joel, you would love the humor in that show.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's definitely a gem and unabashedly Canadian. Must watch.
Okay. I want to watch that. We just watched Schitt's Creek, and I didn't even realize that whole show was Canadian.
Yep.
And that was I loved that show. That was incredible. So, okay. Last question for you. You probably know what it is because you've watched the show. What is a characteristic or a personality trait or something about yourself that you wish your listeners / my viewers knew about you that might not be easy to ascertain from your radio presence or your social media?
I guess just further pushing out there that just like hit me up. You know, if you have a band with awesome new music, you know, never feel like a burden or anything like that. Reaching out, just you know, I'm a personable good dude. You know, I do this because I love it, because I love the music. For me, you know, as cliche as it sounds, you know, it is truly, you know, all about the music, man. So just that I'm, you know, a chill, personable dude. I like to, you know, mess and joke around a bit here and there. You know, there's been a couple Facebook posts that I posted, and I thought it was, you know, pretty clear that I'm, you know, making a joke, and I guess people took my comments a little bit seriously, and then I have to go back and edit it and quotations, edit, post. Yes, this is sarcastic. I do not actually like that sort of stuff. So it's pretty funny.
I do not actually feel this way.
Yeah.
that's pretty funny. That is pretty funny.
Yeah, man.
All right, tight.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to say too, you know, before we go here and shit, man, you know, shout out to you, shout out to people like Sean Mott, shout out to people like Dan DeFonts, and just everyone else in the music industry, you know, over this last 13, 14, 15 months to see what you guys have done and how you guys have pivoted and different stuff that you guys have done in the music industry and the music capacity to do what you guys have all done over the last year and a half, and anyone else out there, man. It's fucking absolutely awesome to see. Amazing to see. You guys are all fucking naturals at it. It was real cool to see the fonts on the front page of Twitch the other day. So just
yeah, he actually has another one coming up with Dino from Fear Factory, dude.
Fuck yeah, man.
Dude, yeah.
So yeah, man, big ups to all you guys. Really enjoy all the content, man, and just keep doing what you're doing.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I mean, bro, you keep trucking along, man. You're killing it yourself. You know, like basically two shows on you know, that's great, man. That's, most people could only dream to do 2 radio shows, you know?
Oh, it's crazy. And actually, now that I think about it, I have not mentioned this, but as well, on top of Rock the Walls that I host on Thursdays and Saturdays and do the music directing, I also have been hosting a show here the last 7 or 8 months on IDOBI Radio, Friday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern time, called Friday Night Harder. And basically for 2 hours, I just spin the latest and greatest in heavy music. So it's a great way to get people, you know, from regular IDOBI radio into the heavy stuff, IDOBI Howl, and checking that out.
Fucking tight, dude.
Yeah, man. And if people want to listen to IDOBI Howl, it's just over the last couple months, some real easy ways to get it. If you go on Apple Music, search IDOBI Howl, it will come right up. As well, we have a new IDOBI app for iOS and Android. You just go to the radio portion. You can click Anthem, Howl, or regular IDOBI to listen that way. So lots of cool ways to listen.
I got to download that. I don't think I have that installed yet. I got to do that. Good call. Okay, so you know, the final part, the final part. How can everybody find you and the show on the interwebs?
Yep. So right across the board, it is at Rock the Walls, exactly how it sounds, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And same thing with IDOBI Howl, just IDOBI, IDOBI Howl. on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff.
Perfect. And do you want people to know how to find you personally?
Yeah, if you have any music or anything like that you think I need to hear, you can hit me up by email, patrick.walford@idobi.com. Share whether it's an EP, whether it's just a single your band's releasing, any stuff like that, and you want me to hear it, potentially get it played on the radio, like, hell yeah, do it up. Or, if you reach out on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, I answer all of them either way. So yeah, just no copy paste messages. I see through those pretty quickly.
Good. All right. Well, Patrick, thank you for being my guest on the show. Everyone watching, this has been another episode of Joel Cupcake Live. Please go check out Rock the Walls. Please listen to IDOBI Howl. Please follow Patrick on the internet because he is a funny motherfucker and he's a good brother. Most importantly, if you understand, if you get it, you get it. That's all I have to say to my viewers. If you get it, you get it.
Everything's reversed. I'm trying to.
Oh shit! Wait.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. All right. Everybody, please subscribe to the show. Please follow Patrick online. I'm not going to tell you how to follow me online because if you don't fucking know by this time, I don't know why you're watching the show. Patrick, you're the man. I appreciate you being here. Everybody else, see you next